I'm Jay from the Kubz Guys. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now, we just got done investigating. We learned how to spray luminol on surfaces and find blood traces, and we learned how to fingerprint. But now it's time for everybody's favorite part of the game, which is the trial. So no more talking. If you guys cool with that, you down with that? Everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go. February 24, 9:41 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. 9:41 a.m. Man, I can't be waking up that early. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't see capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. But didn't she admit to the murder? Now she's trying to save her own ass. Alright, whatever. We're gonna try to save her. February 24, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9! What a time to be alive. Let's get it! Everybody's looking all great today. How's it going? Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... Huh? I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Yes, guys, the so-called murderer. Hoo boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Oh no. Not you! Not him! Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I'm Officer Mike Meekin, sir! My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. His occupation is murderer, so he clocks in, murders, clocks out. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear... Sir! What you call part of the younger generation, sir? A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Witness testimony, the first one of the day, so I'm gonna need you guys to use 2 eyes. If you have one, I don't care if you have 3 or 4, lock them in. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. That was it? So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Okay, we're gonna press that. We're gonna press that like we're trying to steam a soup. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. But why? Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir! The lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. Oh, that guy. That little guy. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated to the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. Okay, before we question that, I want to take a look at this real quick. I want to take a look-see-poo at this. Okay, nothing seems off about this, right? It looks a little scratched up, and there's actually a hand mark. There's a hand mark on the guy. Can I actually examine that? I don't know. But if it comes down to it, if I'm stumped, I'm going to examine that handprint. But I spotted a suspicious man. Okay, we are going to hold it! In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? It should. There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's 498-9596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 498-9596 is shown as being used twice! Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during that second time when? Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to the ID card record. ID is of all who entered the evidence room on 221. I was only doing what I trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. What happened when you were attacked? So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. How did you do it? What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See, he must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Who? Who was the officer? What's his name? About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief? Delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. Objection! Why? Why object that? What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Oh, here we go, guys. The Officer Meekins sex tape. Let's go. Okay, so let's make sure we analyze every detail. We got the Blue Badger just swinging back and forth. Okay. Okay. There's a bat inside of the... Whoa, there he is. Wait, what time is it, by the way? It is 17:14, and then he's opening something. Something fell out when he opened the locker. Got it. And then there's Meekins. What the heck? Oh, he's gonna go check on him, right? Because somebody came in unauthorized. Whoa! Then he got smacked up. They're fighting a little bit. Meekins got ruffled up. Okay, and now obviously it's gonna be off screen. Damn it. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Meekins is down, and Bruce Goodman is gone. And it's 17:15. Okay. There better not be a jump scare. Like somebody in front of the camera. 2:21 at 17:15. That's when it happened. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video added to the court record. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room. Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! Witness testimony again? Okay, guys, you already locked in? I hope so. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there is no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. That's not true. What's this about the fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay, let's do this, guys. Gotta find a contradiction. Here we go. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. That's true. But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I don't buy that. I don't buy what you're selling. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Makins! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir! You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprints to do. That's true. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And this, too. The locker you open is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Okay, hold on. Before we do anything, I gotta remember what kind of evidence that we have, because we have a lot. Look at that. We have a bunch of evidence. We got a security video now. We got Marshall's fingerprint found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. The print may have been wiped. Unstable jar piece back together from fragments found at the crime scene. A piece is missing. Only the assigned detective's prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp light up when it's open. Rubber glove. Tagged evidence from the SL9 incident. Extremely thin rubber glove. Evidence room floor plans. Okay, let me check the floor plans. Okay, that's the pool of blood. And I think these two lockers are ones that are of interest. Like, they're a point of interest, I guess. And what else do we have? Goodman's lost item reports. Okay, Bruce Goodman, he lost it at 221, ID number 5, and then a scribble. Item lost, not even there. Status report, nothing there. Okay. And then there's a screwdriver, fingerprint set, ID card record. Okay, let's see this. So what time was it? It was like 17:15, right? Bruce Goodman and Mike Meekins. Okay, that checks out. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Hold that. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it, sir. Hold it. Hold that. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? Okay, there has to be if they're asking me this question, so yes, there is a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may have not been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Okay, so how do I pause? How do I pause? Backspace is pause. Okay, so that's how we pause. So let's see. It's 7:14 with 32 seconds right now, right? Okay. Let me fast forward a little bit. Actually, let me pause it. Pause this. Does he have anything in his hand? No? Nothing in his hand? Okay, so he's walking over there. Is there anything over here? Nothing? Okay. Let me see. Does the blue badger still have everything in his hand? Yeah, I got a flag. Where's that baseball bat I was holding? What is this? Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Pause it. Wait a minute. This is lit up already. Wait, was the locker lit up from the very beginning? Hold on. I'm going back to the very beginning of the video. Yeah, every other locker is black. That means that nobody opened their locker. But if we fast forward the tape, it's the only one that has light around it. So that means nobody needed a fingerprint for his locker. All they could do is just open it. Like me or you could walk in there right now and just open it. So I think this is the contradiction. That Meekin said he was the only one who could have opened it, but the locker was already open. So take that! The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this! Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Yeah, see, look. This is the start of the video. Every other locker is blacked out, but bam! That one is lit! When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Yeah, it's already open, Phoenix. We know. We been new. I'm telling everybody out there at home that it's been lit. It gets lit. See, he's moonwalking back to the beginning. And watch this, guys. Bada bing, bada boom! Lit! Here, notice the light? Watch this. It's already lit! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Yes, guys, before he grabbed the handle. Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. Must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something? Jam the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the videotape once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. I remember. Hold on. When he opened the locker, something fell out. Like, oh my god, why did I do that? I was trying to fast forward it. I did not mean to take that. All right, this time I'm going to press the right button to fast forward. When he goes to the locker, something falls out. Look. Bam! Oh, it's the rubber glove. I thought that was a piece of paper. Hold on. Rewind that. Rewind that. Yeah, a glove fell out. So, was that the thing jamming the locker? Like, did somebody put that in there to block the sensor? Right? Okay, let me pause that once the thing falls out. Bam. Okay, I thought that was a piece of paper, but it's that rubber glove. So, take that! Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. I thought that was a piece of paper jamming the locker. It's the whole rubber glove. See, look, he opened it. Bam. Glove falls out. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my... We can't be sure. That item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Yeah, just like I insert you. I'm just kidding. Okay, come on. We already know this. He walks over to it, opens it, big rubber glove falls out, no glove, no love falls out, and we have to just, come on. Come on, we know. See? Boom. Falls out. Tucked between the butt cheeks of the locker. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean, yeah, rubber gloves, they can't be touched by electricity. We got this. I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? Well, they just said it themselves. All I gotta do is present it. We're gonna wind it up and say, take that! I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir! It would appear to be so, sir! So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Don't object that. That's the truth. That's facts. Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir! Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Oh, of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Wait, are they in on it together? Edgeworth, what are you doing to me, baby? Third testimony, guys. Lock in. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Huh. An ID card record. I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let's just move on to the cross-examination. Okay, I gotta check something, guys. Cross-examination, mystery man number 2, let's go. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card, that's a fact. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it, okay? That's also a fact. Let me check the court record real quick. I am going to see the times that people came in. So IDs of all who entered the evidence room on 2/21, okay? So let's see this. Miles Edgeworth came in at 4:40 p.m., 8730579. Mike Meekins came in at 4:50 the first time, 4989596, okay? Bruce Goodman came in 5842189. Is that the same as the ID that he has? Let me see. Let's check his ID because we have his ID. Wait a minute. He said at the time of the crime, the detective had used his ID card. But if 2 people died in 2 different places at the same exact time, then Goodman's ID was found in the parking lot and not used inside the evidence room. And it says, an investigator's ID card found at prosecutor's office crime scene. That means he could not have used it inside the evidence room if 2 people died at the same time. So I think I'm gonna wind it up, guys. You're gonna do it with me and we're gonna say, OBJECTION! Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. Lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Yeah, guys, he was not carrying it. So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are 2 grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object or wait and see what happens? We gotta object!
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Yeah, the handprint. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name? His name is Detective Jake Marshall at your service. Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Would the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Whew, man, we killed that. February 24, 11:32 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. The hell was that about? Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Yeah, fade back in here. You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, detective. You better be, pal. Hey! 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 I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky! That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you. The chief prosecutor were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky. Files for the Joe Dart killing solved 2 years ago. Joe Dart? That's a badass name. Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as... the Joe Dart killings. The... Joe Dart... No. No, Lana! That's over with. No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I'd better take a good look at this file. The Joe Dart killings, to be continued. The Joe Dart killings and everybody's involved, like even Emma and Lana and Edgeworth and Gumshoe and everybody. All right, guys, but we're about to go back into trial right now. We are going to cross-examine Jake Marshall. If you guys want to see that as soon as possible, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like. And tell a friend today that Jay from the Kubz Scouts is that dude!